G'day everyone and welcome to another Minecraft build tutorial. Now this tutorial will be a little different from the usual ones, and that's because we'll be creating 4 different houses in 4 different time periods. We'll be starting in the Stone Age, then progressing to the medieval times, then jumping ahead to the modern era, and finally in a futuristic style. And as usual, before we get started in the tutorial, I'll take you through a tour of each house. So here we are at the first age, the Stone Age. Now this house is pretty simple. It's made pretty much out of just stone and hay and a little bit of wood as well. This is kind of all they had back in those times. They just had hay roofs made of like stone and weird stuff like that. So yeah, this one's probably the easiest one to build out of all 4 of the different houses, and let's take a look on the inside. So in here, there's really not a lot of room, but we managed to cram in 3 double chests, 6 barrels in the roof, and also a crafting table and a furnace, and also a bed, of course. And yeah, so that pretty much covers it for the Stone Age house. Moving along in time, we're now at the medieval period. This house is a lot more advanced than our previous one over there, and we also have 2 stories on this house, and it's also in an L shape. We've got a dock out here on the outside. We've also got a little farm with a wheelbarrow and some decorations as well. And yeah, so that pretty much covers it for the exterior. So now let's head on to the interior. So down here on the first floor, we've got our smelting, crafting, a little bit of storage, and some decoration as well. We've got an armor stand, pot plant, and we've also got some more crafting blocks over here. We've got a stone cutter and a grindstone. And then heading out this door is how we get out to the dock and allows us to fish. Heading back inside, let's go up to the second floor, up the ladder. And up here we've got our bed. We've also got a little extra storage up here and some more decorations. And we've also got 3 double chests tucked away in here. Just thought I'd utilize the space. Yes, these chests do open. And then back over here we've got a few more crafting blocks and also a little decorative lantern here in the middle. And yes, that's pretty much it for the medieval house. Now let's move on to the next time period. Next up, we're on to the modern or current time period. And I've never actually built a house in this style before in my life. So this is my first time for me, and yeah, let me know how I went. I don't know if I like it very much, but I had to do it for this video. So on the outside, we've got a little flower field. We've also got a pot plant out here, and that's pretty much it. I wanted to keep it pretty simple and sleek for the modern one. So let's head inside to the interior. And on the first floor here, we've got like the kitchen set up. We've got a little bit of storage up here and also some bookshelves underneath the staircase. Heading over this way, we've got our main little storage area with some double chests and some barrels. Heading upstairs, we can head up to the only bedroom in the whole house in here. So we've got our bed, a little bit of personal storage and some more decoration. And then heading out here to the final room, we have a furnace and just some more decorations. And that's pretty much it for this house. It's pretty small and simple. I wanted to keep it pretty sleek and modern looking, so it's kind of hard to fill up a house like this with a bunch of stuff that you need. It's mainly more just for looks. So that pretty much does it for the modern house. Now let's move on to the final one. So for the final house, we have the futuristic base, and I decided to make this one in the water just because I felt like it made it more futuristic, I guess. You can see we've got a lot of color down here. We've got some corals growing on the edge here, and we've got some nice plants on the inside as well. You can see the inside is very open, and then up here we've got kind of like a little dock area with some boats, and we also have a farm up here just to keep it green. Something I decided to do as well is add in these signs. I feel like they look very futuristic. They just kind of show you which way is the entry, which way is the exit. So let's head down inside, and this just drops us down into some water, and then we can open this door, head inside, and then on this side wall we have our main smelting area. We've got a bunch of smelters up here, some regular smelters and also some blast furnaces and smokers. Then over here we have a little island with some storage and some more decorations, and over here we also have our kind of planter boxes with some nice greenery. I felt like it was pretty like white in here, so I felt like we needed to add some green and some nice pops of color. And then over on this side is our kind of main storage wall and also our crafting area. We've got a lot of barrels in this base, so if you like barrels then you'll like this base. And then to exit, all we have to do is head into this door, and then we have a little bubble column here so we can just get shot straight up, and then we can leave through the exit door. And so that pretty much does it for the futuristic base, and the tour for all of the bases is done now. You may have noticed all of these bases are actually pretty small. That's done on purpose. You can expand these of course if you would like to, but if these were all full-size houses, the video would probably go for an hour. And yeah, so if you want to build any of these bases, stick around and we'll get started on the tutorial right now. Alright, so starting off the Stone Age house, we're first going to create a rectangle that is 5 wide and also 5 wide. Then we're going to extend this up by 3 blocks and do this all the way around the sides of all the walls. Then we're going to decide where we want the front door. I've chosen I want it right here, so destroy these 2 blocks, and then above the door we're going to go up an additional 2 blocks like this. We're also going to do the same thing on the back, and then in the middle of each wall here we're going to add an additional stone block like that. Now what we can do is add in our upside down stairs here for the door. We can also add our door in as well. And now it's time to just quickly texture all of the stone with some andesite. This is of course optional, it's completely up to you. I feel like it makes it look more kind of Stone Age looking. Alright, and now it's time to grab out the scaffolding. We're going to head back up to the roof and we're going to add in all of the hay bales for the roof. So what we're going to do is on this section here, we're going to place in a strip of hay bales. Make sure to replace this one so it's facing the right way. We're going to do the same thing again, just above the existing hay bales here. Then we're going to move over above this section here and add in another strip of hay bales. And then finally on top of here, we're going to add in another strip of hay bales. Then we're just going to quickly repeat this on the other side as well. Alright, and there's all the hay bales done for the roof. It should look like this. It looks kind of weird right now because we haven't added the trim in, but we will add that in right now. So to start off the trim, what we're going to do is place in some planks on the sand block as all of the hay bales here on the front. And then we're going to have to make a new scaffolding pillar, and we're going to do it right here. And then above each of these, we're going to add a slab on. Just like that, nice and simple. Now let's quickly repeat this on the other side while we're at it. And now for the little bits that stick out, all we're going to do is on the left side of this one here, we're going to place in a slab and then another slab below that. Then we're going to bring this all the way back up to the front here. We may as well add that one on there as well. And then we're just going to do this kind of like checkered pattern of a gap and then a slab on each side. Now let's just quickly repeat this on the other side as well. And there we go, we're all done with the roof. Now let's finish up the exterior details. So firstly, let's destroy this block here for the window. Place in just a spruce fence block. Then above that, in the center of this area here, we're going to place in 2 spruce fence gates and then a spruce fence. On top of that, we're going to place a skeleton skull, so we're going to have to get out another scaffolding pillar. Place your skull on there, and then let's also add on our torch right here in between the door and the window. Now, before we go into the interior, let's quickly finish up all of the exterior details. And to do that, what we're going to do is first place in a bunch of coarse dirt and rooted dirt all around the sides of the base. Next, let's add in a little campfire. We're just going to place it right here. To add in the chairs, we're just going to place a spruce slab with a closed trapdoor behind it. We'll add in 2 of these little chairs. Then let's head around to the right side of the base and we'll add in our little wheelbarrow thing. And to do that, we're going to place a spruce fence gate like this. Make sure to open it. Then coming off of that, we're going to place a hopper. We're going to have to replace this so it's facing the right way. And then on this end here, we're going to place in a grindstone. Now let's destroy the hopper, hold shift and right click while looking at the grindstone. That way the hopper just kind of faces into this and it looks a little bit more normal. I just realized this wheelbarrow is like completely floating, but oh well. And now to finish up the exterior, let's just simply place in a bunch of grass and tall grass around the place. Alright, now with all of the exterior done, it's time to move on to the interior. And obviously we really don't have a lot of room here to work with, so I've tried to make it as efficient and cramped as possible, so let's get started. Firstly, let's replace all of the ground blocks with dirt, as this is all they really had in the Stone Age, is just dirt floors. We're also going to have to replace this block here underneath the door, so let's just do that and replace the door in real quick. Now in the back left corner over here, let's add in 3 double chests stacked above each other, and then spaced 1 block above here, just pretty much below this hay bale section right here, we're going to add in a strip of barrels. We're going to do the same thing on the other side as well. And then in between these, along the top, we're going to add in some stone slabs. Now down here, next to the first double chest, we're going to place in a furnace, and beside that, a crafting table. Above the furnace, let's place a torch on top. And then lastly, to finish up the entire interior, we're going to place a bed right here to the left of all of the double chests. And that pretty much does it for all of the Stone Age base. Okay, now moving on to the medieval base, you're going to want to find a spot like this. If you're wanting to add the dock in, you really need to find a spot that's kind of on the water's edge, and then we have a block here, and then it goes up by an additional block, and that's the rest of like the level of the area. If you don't want to bother with the dock, then you can pretty much just build this anywhere you want. So let's first start off by creating the pillars and the outline of the base. So let's first create the area that's going to be connected to the dock, just so we can line everything up properly. And firstly, let's place in our first pillar like this. And by the way, all of these pillars are going to be spaced spaced apart by 3 blocks. So this is going to be where our door is to our dock. So let's actually place in some of the stairs here for the dock. And now let's add in the rest of the pillars for the base. So we're going to go 3 blocks apart from this. We're going to place in another 2 blocks like this. And then we're just going to fill in the rest with a kind of rectangular shape around this way. So another 3 blocks and place in a pillar. Another 3 blocks, another pillar, pillar, pillar. Yeah, that's pretty much the layout of the base. Pretty easy. Now let's raise up all of these pillars to the correct heights. So for these ones here, we're going to raise these up by 4 in total. Do the same on this side as well. And now the rest of the pillars are all going to be 8 high in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy. Let's go and do that to the rest of these right now. Alright, and there we go. There's all of the correct heights for the pillars. So we got 8 and 4 on this side. Now we're going to connect up all of the pillars on this level right here. Let's just do this all the way around all of the sides. And now we're going to do the same thing along the top here for this rectangle section. Alright, now let's go and add on all of these sticky out bits for the pillars. After all this time of building, I still don't really know what to call them, so I'm just going to keep calling them sticky out bits. So we're going to add 2 on here. We're going to add in another 2 on this section here. Now we're not going to add one on this side or this side, as the roof is going to kind of get in the way of those, but we're going to add in an additional 2 here. And then on the back, we're going to add in a bunch all along these sides here, pretty much just in every section. All along up here. We're also going to add in some more along this area and also on this side as well. So pretty much on every section except for in the corner here on this side and then on here. Alright, and now it's time to go ahead and add in all of our walls. So for all of the bottom layer, we're going to be adding in stone, andesite, and cobblestone, all textured. And then for the second layer, we're going to do just simply white terracotta. So let's start off with the bottom layer. Let's just fill in it all with stone to start off with, and then we'll replace the blocks to texture as we go. So this here is going to be where the door is, and now let's just go ahead and fill in the rest of the walls. Also in this section here, we're going to leave a little gap like this for the door to the dock. Now let's just go ahead and add in our texture. So we're just going to do andesite and cobblestone just randomly splotched around the place. Alright, now moving on to the second floor. This one is pretty easy. It is just simply white terracotta all the way around. Now in this section here, we're going to fill it in like this, as the roof is going to kind of be taking up this section here. And now let's just continue filling in the rest of the walls. Okay, and now let's move on to each of the roof sections for the base, and let's start off with this bottom one here. So each of these roofs are really easy to make. It is just a simple slab shape like this. We're just going to go up all the way into the middle, and then we're going to bring it back down over this way. And that's pretty much it for each of the roof designs. Let's just quickly repeat this over here. So we're just starting on the same level as this block here, just to the right on this slab, and let's just bring it all the way up to the center, and then bring it back down. And let's repeat this on the other side as well. Now let's fill in the gap here on the top roof. We're just going to fill it in all with slabs all the way along. Alright, so that's the top roof done. Now let's move on to the bottom one, and it's pretty much the exact same thing, except on the trim here, we're just going to do a little checkered pattern like this. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're also going to bring this all the way up until it reaches this block here. And let's add in that little checkered pattern. And now let's just fill in the rest of the roof with some more slabs. Now all that's left to do is fill in these little gaps of all the roofs. And for that, we're just going to do some white terracotta all the way around on each of the sides here. Next, let's move on to all of the little details for the exterior, and we're going to start off by adding in the sections for the doors here. So let's replace this grass block with a stone block, and also up here we're going to replace this with an upside down stone stair block, and then we can go ahead and add our door in as well. And now let's just quickly repeat this on the other side over here. So replace this with a stone block, some stone stairs up here, and then a wooden door right here as well. Now let's add in all of the little windows. There's only 3 of them, so it's pretty easy to do. So firstly, the one right here is right next to the door. We're just going to replace this block with a spruce fence. Then in front of that, a spruce fence gate. Be sure to open it as well. And then above that, a spruce trapdoor. Now let's just repeat this in this section and this section on the second floor. So that's all the windows done. Now let's add in the extra detail blocks that connect up all of these little sticky out bits for the pillars. So all along this bottom layer here, we're going to add in this simple design. It's simply a spruce fence gate on either side, and then in the center, a spruce fence with a lantern coming off of it. Now let's just repeat this in each section all along here, except for obviously here and here where the roof gets in the way. Alright, now that all of those are added in, let's simply add in some buttons on all of these exposed wood faces all the way around. We'll also do this on the top floor as well. Alright, and now onto the top floor. Instead of doing this design, we're simply just going to connect up each of the pillars with a spruce fence gate. Alright, and that's it for all of the details of the house. Next, let's move on to adding in the dock. Alright, so for the dock, let's simply extend this shape out with some spruce slabs. You can go out as far as you want, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go kind of like this. Actually, maybe even like this shape, so it's kind of rugged looking. And then underneath this section right here, pretty much just one back from the furthest point, we can add in some fences that go all the way down to the bottom. And then just to texture it up, we can add in some campfires. Just sprinkle these in wherever you want, and then be sure to, of course, extinguish them with a shovel. And there's our simple little dock done. Now let's move on to the farm area over here. Okay, so to start off the farm section, let's simply till some land. We're going to till a 3x3 little square here, and this is going to be one block spaced apart from the house as well. But before we do that, we're going to have to add in some water. So if you have a section like this next to your area, you can simply place some water underneath the grass here, and this will reach this farm easily. So now let's just till all of this land in a 3x3 square. Let's also plant it while we're at it with your crop of choice. I'm going with carrots. And then let's texture the area around it with some coarse dirt and some rooted dirt as well. And then on the side of the wall over here, let's place in 2 barrels. We'll place one facing up and then one facing out. And then beside that, let's place a composter. And now one block spaced apart from the farm over here, let's place in another wheelbarrow design. This one's a little bit more modern looking. Instead of the hopper, we've got a composter here. And then let's place our grindstone in and our spruce fence gate. Be sure to open it as well. Now we can also add in our pathway. It's very simple and easy to do. All you need to do is just grab out a shovel and then just simply shovel all of the land to create your pathway. And that's it. You can also add in some more of this textured dirt around the pathway as well if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. And on the original design, I've also placed in an extinguished campfire right here just for a little extra detail. And then lastly, to finish up the exterior, let's simply just place in some grass pieces around the place. Okay, and that's it for the exterior. Now it's time to move on to the inside. Okay, so to start off, let's simply replace all of the grass in here with some stone. And with that done, now let's add in our ladder. We're going to be placing this in the very back left corner. We're going to do it up to this level here. And now in line with these pillars here on the top half, we're going to add in a bunch of slabs all the way along. And now with that done, let's go up the ladder upstairs, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did on this level right here. Okay, now let's head back downstairs and add in all of our details. So firstly, on this side right here, right beside the door, we're going to add in an upside down spruce stair block, and then we're going to cap off the side with a closed spruce trapdoor. Then on this table, we're going to add in a flower pot with an azalea. Then let's turn to the right, and one block to the left of this pillar here, let's add in a slab. We'll be putting a armor stand on this right at the end. Then over here in this corner, let's place in 3 stripped spruce wood blocks like this. And then at the top of this, let's place in 2 barrels kind of coming away from it. We're going to do this on either side, and then above these barrels, let's connect them up with the roof with an additional spruce slab block like this. Then underneath these, let's add another slab in these 2 corners here, and then a trapdoor on the very edge blocks like this. Now underneath here, let's add in a crafting table and also an anvil, and then on the right side, we're going to place in 2 furnaces. Now let's add in a bunch of trapdoors. We're going to add in 3 in total on the sides and close it up. Do the same on this side as well. Beside this, let's place in 2 polished andesite blocks, and then on top of the first one, a stone cutter, and then on the second one, a grindstone. And then beside this, right next to the door in here, add in a single chest. Now let's go and look up at the ceiling, and one block away from the side here, let's place another spruce slab and then chuck a lantern on there. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side, one block away, place in a slab and then a lantern. Now finally all that's left to do is chuck in our armor stand and your armor of choice. I'm just going with some leather because I feel like it fits the vibe of the house a bit better. And yeah, so that's the bottom floor done. Now let's head up to the second floor. So firstly, let's go right in front of the ladder over in this corner, and we're going to place in a smithing table followed by a lectern and then finally a loom, and we're also going to chuck a book in this lectern as well. Now over here underneath this section right here, we're going to add in some double chests, and what we can do is actually remove this block here as it's kind of not really exposed to the outside at all, and we can chuck in our double chests. You might have to remove part of the roof here to be able to place in all of the chests, so just chuck in your chest like that and then fix up the roof once you're done. Now with that done, let's go ahead and add in our bed area, and to start that off, let's place some barrels along the top on this section right here, and we're going to connect them up with the roof by placing in some more slabs along the top. Now underneath here, let's place in 2 stripped spruce wood blocks like this. On the first one, let's place a large amethyst bud, and on the right side, a flower pot with a blue orchid or your plant of choice. Now to the left of this, let's place a red bed, and then we're going to add in some red carpet all the way around the sides, just like this. Now finally, let's add in our lanterns. We're going to go 1 block spaced away from here, chuck in a slab and a lantern, and do the same on this side, 1 block away, slab and a lantern. And that's it for the medieval style house. Alright, now it's time to start off the modern base. And to do that, we're primarily going to be using polished deep slate and also white concrete. We'll be using a bunch of glass panes as well. So to start off, we're going to create the outline of the base. We're going to start off in the front left corner by placing a single polished deep slate block. Then we're going to go 2 blocks away, place another one, and then another 2 blocks and place another one. Then we're going to go 1 block away here. This is where the front door is going to be. And then directly diagonally across from this, we're going to place a white concrete, and then another 2 with 1 gap in between these. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side until we get to this section here and we create like a square. And then we're going to bring this all the way over this way, and then we're going to transition to deep slate once we get in line with this deep slate section here. Bring this all the way around until we line up here with this corner, and then we're going to bring this all the way around this way here. Now let's raise all of these up 4 blocks high in total. Now with all of that done, let's connect up all along the top here with some polished deep slate, and then over here we're going to connect them up with white concrete. Alright, before we move on to the second floor, let's quickly replace these grass blocks here in between the pillars with their corresponding blocks. Now let's move on to the second floor, and to do this, what we're going to be doing is just extending these main pillars up by an additional 4 blocks in total. And then once we get to the white section, we're only going to extend this up by 3. And then for this next pillar, instead of it being in line with these 2, we're going to place it in line with this last window right here. And then we're going to repeat this on the opposite side as well. And then to finish it up, let's just fill in the rest of all of this wall here. Now let's add in the roof and the trim thingies. I don't really know what to call them, but to start off, we're going to go in this corner over here, and let's place these 2 blocks here, and we're going to extend this all the way up 1 block above the top here, and we're going to bring this all the way around this way. Then once we reach this section here, we're going to go all the way down to the back and make sure it hangs out over by 1, and then we're going to come bring it back over this way and connect it up over here as well. And then we can go ahead and fill all of this in. This is the main roof. And then to finish up this section down here, we're going to simply bring it all the way along this area. And then let's continue bringing it all the way around the entirety of the base. Then once we reach back up over here, let's go over this side. We're going to extend it up into a little pillar right here. We're also going to create a pillar here as well. And now let's fill in the roof for this area. So we're going to switch to some polished deep slate, and let's just simply fill in this section here. We're going to bring it in line with this pillar, and then let's extend it over this way, and we're going to extend it until it's in line with this little bottom area right here. Just like that, just match the area below down this side, and then let's fill it all in. And there we go, that's the main kind of outline of the base. And now let's fill in all of these windows here with some glass panes. Alright, with all that done, let's finish up the exterior details. We're going to add in a little pathway here. So let's just create a rectangle that links up these 2 sections right here. And then we're just going to texture it with stone and andesite. And then the pathway can be extended over this way if you want. You could extend it out continuing that way. It's entirely up to you. Now we can also go ahead and add a little flower field. It doesn't really matter how specific you line this up. I'm probably just going to line it up with this window and also this window and just create a rectangular shape of flowers here. And there we go, there's our little flower field done. Now let's head on to the interior, and what we're going to do is replace all of these grass blocks in here with oak planks on the first floor. And then for the second floor, what we're going to do is fill it all in with more white concrete on this layer here. And then with that done, we can go ahead and also fill in our little glass sliding door design here. So just fill in that kind of shape like that. Now for the front door, let's head down to this area here. We're going to place in an upside down polished deep slate stair block like this. And then we're going to place a dark oak door in this area right here. And now that's everything done for all of the exterior and all of the main blocks. So now let's head inside and decorate the interior. All right, so firstly, let's start off with the staircase in the back left corner over here. And to line this up, what we're going to do is go through the front door, stand right here, and then we're going to go all the way to the end here. And on this block that we were standing on, we're going to place the first stair block. And now let's just extend this all the way up, destroying the blocks above as well, so we can actually walk up in there. And then place the final stair block on there. Now let's head back down, and we're going to fill up all underneath here with some bookshelves and also some looms to make it look like kind of empty bookshelves. Next, let's add in our little kitchen section over here. And to do that, we're going to place in 4 barrels in a row coming along from the side of the staircase here. Underneath this first one, let's place in a spruce trapdoor and do the same on the end one as well. Then on this right corner, we're going to place a furnace, a crafting table, a cauldron with some water inside, and then finally a polished andesite block and also some polished andesite stairs on the very end right here. Then to decorate the tabletop along here, on top of the crafting table, let's place a pot, and then behind the cauldron, let's place a tripwire hook. Kind of looks like a tap, I guess. And then on the side here, let's place in 2 end rods for a light source. Next, let's turn around, and in this section here, we're going to add in a little bit of storage. So 1 block spaced away from the very bottom step here, let's place in a strip of barrels like this. And then beside this, let's place in some chests. Now I realize these top chests don't open, so we can replace these with some quartz slabs, preferably smooth quartz slabs, as it kind of matches the white concrete pretty well. Now beside these, let's place in some polished andesite stairs, a flower pot on top of that with an azalea. And then in line with these chests here on the left side of the chests, let's stand right here and place in a sea lantern on the roof. And now that's it for the bottom floor. Now let's head upstairs and create the bedroom. So firstly, what we're going to do is create a wall that separates the bedroom from this little hallway out to this area right here. And to do that, we're going to line ourselves up with this area here, 3 blocks away from the corner. And let's place in 3 blocks, then a gap, and then another 3 blocks like this. Then let's extend this all the way up to the ceiling. And then in this section here, we're going to fill these in and then fill in this side as well, and also add another block right here. Then once we head back to this area, let's fill in 1 block up here and then some polished deep slate stairs, and then finally a dark oak door placed on just like this. So starting off with the bedroom, let's fill in this gap here with some more polished andesite blocks. And then in this corner while we're here, let's place in a chest. Beside that, some upside down oak stairs, and then on top of that, a flower pot with a flowering azalea. Then over in the opposite side over here, let's place in a single stripped dark oak wood block like this with an end rod on top. Beside this, a light grey bed, and then we're going to fill in all of this section here with some light grey carpet. Now finally, to finish up the base, let's head outside and over to this little area over here, and we're going to add in a little kind of barbecue design. So let's firstly place in a single furnace, and then beside that we're going to place some upside down stone stairs facing like this, just so it doesn't connect up with the glass, even though this one is here, don't worry about it. And then finally, let's place a flower pot on top of the stone stairs, and on top of the furnace, let's place a stone pressure plate. And now finally, to finish up the entire base, all we're going to do is create a little glass pane railing. So let's place a glass pane on the left side of this pillar and also on the right side of this pillar here, and then let's connect them up all the way along this area just like this. And there we go, that's it for the modern house design. Alright, and finally onto the futuristic base. So for this one, you're gonna have to find a nice spot of water in kind of a shallow lake or ocean setting. And the only real requirement is that you have at least a 7 block gap between the seafloor and the surface of the water. If not, you're gonna have to do a little bit of excavating around the base. But to make sure you have the right area, what we're gonna do is grab some dirt or any blocks of your choice and build up a pillar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So mine's 8, so we're gonna have a 1 block gap underneath the base, which is fine. Now let's remove all of this dirt down here, and we're gonna start off with the main kind of farm that's on the surface of the water. So we're gonna build a rectangle that's 3 wide and 7 long. Now with our rectangle done, it's time to go around each face, and we're going to cover each of those sides with some smooth quartz stairs. And then once that's done, just place some smooth quartz slabs in each of the corners. Next, it's time to decide which side you want to be the front and the back. I've decided I want this to be the front here, and then the back's going to be over that way. So what we're going to do now is create our little walkway that goes back here. So we're going to extend it out by 1 in this way, and then we're going to go another 1, and then to the left and to the right. And then we're going to come back this way, and in the center of our rectangle here, we're going to extend it out by 2 slabs on either side. And this is like our kind of little dock thing. And then while we're at it, we may as well till all of this dirt here and plant our carrots or your crop of choice. Now with all of this done, let's head over to the back and create our little elevator station. So firstly, what we're going to do is extend this area out again, and we're going to extend it out to the left and the right as well. Then we're going to place 3 blocks in the center like this, and we're going to do the same on the other sides, except only by 2. Then let's extend these out another 2 blocks so that it's 3 wide in total. And then on the top, we're going to add in some smooth quartz stairs on either side. Then on the front here, let's place in some upside down smooth quartz stairs on either side. And then we're going to fill in the rest of the roof here with some smooth quartz blocks. Also go ahead and fill in the back as well. Now heading back around to the front, let's add in our doors. So our first door is going to be placed like this, the other one like this. And then we can also add our signs on as well. This is of course optional, but to do this, all I'm doing is placing a crimson sign, and then I'm holding shift and holding down the button that's above enter, and then we're just filling up each line with a bunch of these until it is completely full. And then let's do the same on the other side. And then to get these looking like how I did in the tour, what we're going to do is right click each one with a glow ink sac, and then we're going to right click the left one with green dye, and then the right one with red dye. Now it's time to extend our elevator down, and to do that, what we're going to do is first extend this front section here by 1, and then we're going to extend the rest down by an additional 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do this all the way around the sides here. Next, what we're going to do is add on the bottom of this elevator section here, and to do that, what we're going to do is add some stairs on these sections here, and then in the corners we'll be adding in some slabs. Now below the stairs here, we're going to add in some more slabs just like this, and then we're going to place in some smooth quartz blocks here, and then we're going to extend this 12 blocks that way. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, and then we're going to also put on some smooth quartz stairs on the end. And now let's just fill in this rectangle. And now this area here is actually the bottom of the front of the base. So what we're going to do now is create the actual entire front section of the base. So to do that, we're going to start off on the right side of these stairs. We're going to place in a single slab, then place another one, and above that another slab. Then we're going to place 2 more slabs just like this as placeholders so that we can place a stair block like this, and then we're going to place another stair behind that one. Then let's extend this up by 2 blocks, and then we're going to repeat this same design here. So let's place in a stair block, and then behind that another stair block. In front of that a slab, and a slab above that, and then another slab here, and then finally we're going to add in some stairs along here. And if you've lined everything up correctly, it should be just 1 block away from this section right here. And now we're pretty much just going to repeat this entire half on this side. And there we go, there's the front of our base done. Next, what we can do is go ahead and fill in the rest of the base walls here. So to do that, what we're going to do is extend these stairs and the top stairs as well. And we're going to keep going until we reach a certain point, and that point is right here when we're in line with this section right here. Now let's extend the top as well all the way over to the end here. Then once we reach the end here, we're going to connect these 2 up with some normal blocks, and then in the center as well, we're going to place some blocks as well. And then we're going to fill in all of these gaps here with some glass. Now let's just quickly repeat that on the other side. Now with the walls done, we can go ahead and fill in the roof of the base. And to do that, what we're going to do is align ourselves with these 3 front stairs here at the top. And we're going to extend these all the way down to the end. Not with stairs though, with some smooth quartz blocks. So let's just add in all of these blocks until we reach the elevator. Just like that. And now what we're going to do is along the sides here, we're going to kind of extend these slabs all the way down to the end. So let's just fill in all of these areas here. Just like that, and then let's go ahead and repeat that on the other side as well. Now with the roof done, we can go ahead and fill in the floor as well, and it's pretty much the exact same thing that we just did. We're just going to be extending the slabs all the way out until the edge of the wall here. And then just bring this all the way back until you reach next to the elevator here, and then just do the same on the other side. Alright, now that that's done, let's go ahead and fill in these back sides here. And to do that, what we're going to do is first destroy this corner block, and we're going to place a upside down stair block here in its place. Then we're also going to fill in this block here with a quartz slab. Now let's pretty much repeat this same thing on the bottom. We're going to place a stair block here, destroy this slab, and then place another slab like this. And then let's repeat this on the opposite side. Destroy this block, place a smooth quartz stair in its place, and then fill in this slab as well. You just double check it matches up with the other side because I'm not even too sure. And now just repeat this on the bottom part as well. Fill in that slab there, and that's it for the back of the base. Now we can go ahead and fill in the glass for the back and also the front. So to do it for the back, we're just going to fill in these glass blocks in these areas here. Make sure you extend them all the way up to the ceiling. Do the same on the other side. Now let's head around to the front, and we're just going to fill in this giant rectangular area here with glass. And that's pretty much it for the exterior of the base. The only last thing we have to do out here is add in our coral, but we'll do that towards the end. We'll also decorate the area with some more kelp and stuff like that. But for now, let's head inside, and we're going to start off the interior with the elevators. So firstly, let's actually clear out all of the interior of all of the water just to make things easier. So you're gonna have to grab out a couple of sponges, and we're just gonna place in a bunch of them to get rid of all of the water. And now I also lied about us being done with the exterior. We're going to have to go back out and fix up all of these areas here. Unfortunately, the sponge kind of just messes up some of the spots. So we're going to have to go around with a couple of buckets of water and fill in these areas here. I realize it probably will take a long time to do this with all of these buckets of water. So it might actually be quicker in the long term to just fill up the entire interior with dirt blocks or something like that, and then just dig them out with a really quick shovel. Probably going to be quicker than going and grabbing a bunch of buckets of water to replace all of these little areas. But that's it for all of the exterior now, I promise, except for the end bit that we'll do at the end. So yeah, now let's head over here and start off the elevator. So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to separate the 2 elevators by adding in a bunch of smooth quartz blocks just like this all the way up until the top here. And then this section is the entryway here. As you can see by the giant green sign, means entry. So we're going to jump down in here. Let's place a slab on the bottom section and fill it up with a water bucket. And that's just so we don't take full damage when we drop down into the base. Now let's add in our entry design for the elevator down here. To do that, what we're going to do is extend these blocks out like this. We're going to place an additional 1 block on the top of each side, and then an upside down smooth quartz stair block. Then we're going to add in our doors. So go on the inside and add in your spruce door like this, and then do the same on the other side. And now let's add in the other side of the elevator, the side that's going to shoot us back up to the top. So to do that, we're going to place in a soul sand block here, and then we're going to add in 1 water bucket. And to make this quicker, what we can do is actually place a kelp down here on the bottom, place a water bucket all the way at the top here just below the door, and then what we can do is extend this kelp all the way up to the top. And what this has actually done is replaced all of the running water blocks here with actual water sources, because that's just what the kelp does for some reason. It's just quicker than having to get a water bucket and place it in every single section. To make sure you got it right, you can just walk in and it should shoot you all the way up to the top here. And now that's it for the elevator. Let's head back down and fill in all of the interior. So to start off the interior, let's first add in our lights. For this, we're using sea lanterns, and what we're going to do is stand in the direct center. We're going to go 1 block away from the edge and look straight up, and we're going to remove a strip of blocks like this. And now I'm pretty sure this block here is water, so be ready to just quickly replace this with a sea lantern because it just gets annoying. And then just fill in all of this strip here with our sea lanterns. Next, let's add in the planter boxes on the very front window. And to do that, we're going to grab out some moss blocks. In the very front left corner, let's place in 3 and then do the same on the other side. Now we're going to cover all of the exposed moss blocks faces with some trapdoors. Spruce trapdoors to be specific. And then on the left side, let's fill in above these moss blocks with a lilac, a peony, probably pronouncing that wrong, and then another lilac. And then on this side, we're going to do a flowering azalea, a large fern, and then 2 oak leaves stacked on top of each other. Next, let's go ahead and fill in our left side wall, and this is going to be the storage / crafting wall. So let's first head into the center pillar here, and we're going to place in a strip of barrels just like this, and then we're going to extend these barrels all the way along the left and the right side as well. And then underneath here in the corners, let's place in a spruce slab, and then we're going to extend all the way out with some spruce trapdoors until we reach the glass. And then on this side, we can only fill in 2 because we have some too high blocks here, so it's fine, it looks good. Now on the left side, let's place in 2 double chests, and then on the right side, a crafting table, a smithing table, and then above the crafting table, an anvil, and above the smithing table, a grindstone. And that's it for the left side wall. Now, let's do the right side. Firstly, add in a strip of barrels along this central pillar, and instead of extending the barrels all the way to the sides, instead we're going to do that with some furnaces. So let's extend the furnaces all the way to the sides, and then like on this side, we're going to add in a little supporting shelf. So in these 2 sections here, let's add in some spruce slabs and then some spruce trapdoors coming along from it. Now underneath here, let's add in 2 smokers on this side, and then on this side we're going to fill it up with some blast furnaces. Now let's add in our little decorations. So firstly, above this smoker here, add in a large amethyst bud. Then on this side, we're going to add in a campfire, be sure to extinguish it of course. Then next to that, a flower pot with a blue orchid, and then finally a stone pressure plate on top of this end blast furnace. And that's it for the smelter wall. Now let's finish up with the little central island. And to add that in, it's really easy. We're going to align ourselves up with the center of the base and also in line with these barrels here, and we're going to place our first barrel like this. Then coming along from it towards the elevator, we're going to add in 2 more barrels. Then on this side here, we're going to add in a double chest and a single chest, and then we're going to reflect that on the opposite side with another double chest and a single chest. Then on top of the barrels here in the center, add in a flower pot with an azalea. On the left side, a lantern, and on the right side, a large amethyst bud. And now we're fully done with the interior of the base. All that's left to do is head back outside and add in some little details. This is of course optional, so feel free to do it if you want to. So what we're going to do is head outside towards the front of the base, the front window here, and we're going to add in a bunch of corals. So firstly, a tube coral, then a bubble coral, brain coral, horn coral, and then a fire coral. Then if your area is lacking a bit of kelp and seagrass, feel free to just fill in a bunch of seagrass and kelp to help it looking vibrant and green and nice. And now that's it. We're fully done with the futuristic base, and with that also all of the bases are now done. So if you enjoyed this different kind of tutorial, feel free to let me know in the comments and if I should do more. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like as it helps me know if you enjoyed these kinds of different videos and if I should do more of them. Cheers for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.